Hello and welcome to my channel. I hope you're doing well and staying safe. Now you're probably familiar with the saying that man does not live by bread alone. And it's absolutely true because there's always room for Pop-Tarts. Today I'll share with you how I made this little project. It is made to resemble a toaster, but when you open it up, you're going to find that it has a little bit of a hidden element, a storage box. Now, if you would like to learn how to make this yourself, please stick with me and I'll show you how. These two pieces that are cut at 3 inches by 12 inches, and I've got another piece here also cut at 3 inches, and it's a little longer. I'm going to actually glue these two together to make a long continuous piece, and then I'll cut off the excess. So I'm going to run the glue here. Now I can cut this, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my mat here and mark it at 14 inches, and I can just use my ruler here. It has a steel edge on it here, so I'm just going to use a craft knife in this case. You could mark it with a pencil and then take it over to your trimmer, or just cut it with scissors, but I'm just going to do it this way and mark it at 14 inches. I'm going to score it on the long side at 1/2 inch on both sides here. So I'll just flip it over and score it again. Bring in my two pieces. Again, folding and burnishing that long tab and this one here as well. So now we have a 2-inch opening. Now, I'm just going to set where that is going to go. And the other thing I want to do is to make an opening for our toaster. Now we can attach the front and the back. So it's going to go like so, so we can run our glue. Start here with this long piece. Get that in place. Making sure that the side I want on the outside is facing away. I can just attach this here. It'd be easier to just lift it up and do it this way. Yeah. now that that is done, I can go to the other side and repeat the whole process again. Chosen to use papers from this Midsummer Morning's paper pack by Tonic Studios, and I've cut pieces for the front and the back and the sides. These pieces are cut at 6 3/4 by 4 3/4, and they're going to go like so. And then for the sides, I've got 1 3/4 by 3 1/4. Just double check that. Yeah, 1 3/4 by 3 1/4. That's correct. So I'm going to glue these down now. For the tray or the box or the storage compartment, whatever you want to call it, measures 11 7/8 by 7 inches. It has to be just that bit smaller than the top so that it won't catch. So I'm going to score this at 2.5 inches on all 4 sides. That's going to be the depth of this. 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, and 2.5, and then I'll fold and finish these score lines, and then we'll cut it. Cut up these score lines here, and here, and then they will fold into the sides like that. Alright, and we're going to do the same on the other side. To help it to fit a bit better, just take a wedge out there. It's going to be folding in, and here as well, and then on this side. It will look like this now, and all that's left to do is apply the adhesive to these tabs. And we'll do that for all 4 tabs, exactly the same. And that's going to give us this long rectangular piece. Fold that in. Meet up the ends here. Make sure they are flush and at right angles. And come in and press that down. In the top of the toaster, and it slides very nicely into place, and then that gives us a little storage area in here. Now what I might do is I might reinforce this inside, perhaps with some other cardstock, and that will make that even steadier. Right, to line the box, I've decided to use a strip of the toaster. This same paper for that. And I've cut this at 6 3/4 by 1 3/4. So that will fit down in the bottom there. Just drop it in there. And then go in with the bone folder and press that into place. And then for the sides, I had some offcuts of this cardstock here, which is also the American Craft. And I'm just going to put those in the sides like that. Side pieces are 2 3/8 by 1 3/4. Now, something I probably should have done before I actually attached this, but I'm going to take a marker and just go round these slots here. To keep the toaster and the box from becoming detached when you lift it up like so. What I'm going to do is attach these hook and loop pieces here. So now I've cut another piece of this green cardstock to 1 inch by 5 inches, and this time I'm going to actually attach it to the bottom of the box and then have the pieces come up. But I'm also going to round these ends before I do that. Okay. Right. Then I'm just going to take the glue and attach it here to the middle of the box. There we are, like so. Cover the ends. You can simply bend these up. And we'll have that just flush there like that, instead of trying to raise it up, because that is just going to make it, I think, a little too wobbly. So we'll just have it come right down to the bottom. So go back in and get my hook and loop pieces. Attach them, and up we go. Just hold that in place. And to the other side. Can do is make feet for this. Feet, I've got these 2 pieces that are cut at 3.5 by 4.5. And on the 4.5 inch side, the long side, I'm going to score at 1 inch, 2 inches, 3 inches, and at 4 inches, and then turn it to the 3.5 inch side and score it at 1 inch and at 2.5 inches. Okay, do that again. Since I want this smooth side here to be the portion that faces front, and I want these to be squared as well. What I can do then, because these are going to be the last ones that go in, I can actually take a little wedge off of these other pieces so that they drop down into the box a little bit, not protrude or interfere with the closure. Could have done that again before I closed up. But what we'll do is then fold all those in, glue them, and then wrap that round and glue that one in as well. I'm going to cover the ends with these pieces of matching green cardstock. For the ends I've got 7/8 by 7/8 and then 1 3/8 by 7/8 for the longer side. So I've got 2 for each of these because one side will be attached to the bottom of the box and the other will be on the floor. All right. Place them so that they run this way, so I'll leave about 1/2 inch thereabouts. When I put it together, stands up like so. It's coming together at last. 2 pieces which are cut at 2.5 by 1/2 inch, and then just a couple of little strips there. And I don't know if I'll be able to get this corner around it, but let's give it a try, shall we? And let's do it on this side as well. Maybe up to, let's see, I think actually that would be fine like that. And then this side here, okay. These are going to be like the little levers for the toaster. Glue these on. Put one of these little pearls on here. Make them a little more secure with that double glue there. Those down. Glue these down to the front here. to form a little knob or lever for the side of the toaster. I've got this little piece here which measures 3 inches by 1.5 inches, and I'm going to score it at 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1.5 inches, 2 inches, and 2.5 inches, and that's on the long side. And on the short side, I'm going to score it at 1/2 inch and at 1 inch. Right. So I'm going to fold these pieces up, just sort of fold them along here. To cut up these score lines here, and here I'm going to just remove that and remove the other square on this end, and just give it a little wedge there. I can actually cut that down just a tiny bit. This will be the glue tab. Have that go in. So glue that together, like so. Just hold that a moment. Now I'm going to screw these tabs to each other here. So this is going to get glued to the side of the toaster. Now, the knob, what I've done is take some pieces out of my stash, some circles, this little piece here, it's got like a little scallop edge around it. I've even fuzzy cut one of the little circles out of the paper, and I'm going to attach that to this. And then I'll glue it to the side of the toaster. So we'll give that a moment to take hold. I'm also going to take one of these little pearls that match the ones on the front and put that in the center of this. Put that down. And we can press that into place. There we are. And then I'm ready to attach it. I'm going to take this off first. I can reach my hand up in here. Also have this piece and this, which I'm going to just a chipboard cinnamon. I'm going to attach that with some double-sided tape. Piece, and I think I'm going to put it here just to give it a little more whimsical sort of look. Place. Put this back on for the moment. I'll just let it rest there. There I've got this piece here. I'm just going to tidy that up a wee bit. And add some glue. Press that in place. And I'll do the same on the other side as well. So going to add a couple more things to the toaster, and I've got this strip of embellishments. They're on a piece of acetate, and so what I've done is just apply some red liner tape onto the back, and I'm also going to use a little bit of liquid glue to secure this and just get that liner off. I also have this little strip sentiment which reads, "Man does not live by bread alone or toast alone." Complete this little toaster, I have 2 pieces of craft card which have been cut to 6 3/4 by 4 1/2. I'm going to score them on the long side at 1/2 inch, at 3 1/8 inches, at 3 5/8 inches, so that's 1 2 3 4 5, and at 6 1/4. Then I'm going to turn it to the short side and score it at 1/2 inch, just on the one side. Do the same on the other. I'll then fold and burnish the score lines on both of these pieces. To cut them, I'm going to cut up these 2 score lines here on that 1/2 inch tab in the middle. Okay. Now what's going to happen is it's going to wrap around like this and attach here. So we can remove this little square on the end, and we also need then to release this tab here. So cut down this score line as well. Okay, so you have a tab here and a tab in the middle. So adhesive is going to go along this piece here, attached to it, and then it will all fold in like so. So I want my piece here to go to the back, and so to help it just a little bit, what I'll do is take a little wedge off of the piece that's going to go onto the inside. So, yeah. Put the adhesive down next. Now to decorate these pieces, I've got an alcohol marker, as well as some gel pens in neon colors. And this is going to go along with this theme of man does not live by bread alone, because there's always Pop-Tarts. So take our marker. What I'm going to do is to sort of mimic what a Pop-Tart would look like. It has these sort of edges like that. I'm not being really precise, as you can see. I'll also go down here just quickly, and that's where the dough is sort of pinched in on the sides there. Okay. The other thing I can do is to take some, I've got some distress ink here in walnut stain. I'm just going to kind of smudge it up a bit. This one. And I'm going to go in and make some little naive type dots. And also some little squiggly bits, little sprinkles. Come in with my markers. Finish up, I'm going to actually put these flat back pearls on the little Pop-Tart. So you've got the colour underneath and then the dimension of the pearls on top. Now I'll bring in the box and the toaster, and man does not live by bread alone, but also Pop-Tarts. So they will just slot in here and just sort of rest like so. You don't have to do this. You could make toast if you wanted instead, or just nothing at all, because if you leave these exposed, the little slots there can actually be used to drop items down into the box below. So what I'm going to do is to use it for the meantime to store a couple of little albums I have here. I've got some little mini albums. One of these is a little trifold pockets, little drop down. You can put things in there as well as photographs. And then this one, which I made in a previous video, which has a magnetic closure and opens out for photographs or mementos, whatever you'd like to use it for. And they will rest easily in here, and there's plenty of room for other things such as maybe a pen, a couple couple of those, a scoring tool, even a small pair of scissors, and still room to spare. And the top will also slide over and then be secured by these hook and loop closures, which keep it nice and secure. There then is the toaster that really isn't a toaster, but a hidden box. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I certainly enjoyed making this, because to be honest, when I sat down to make it, I only had a vague idea as to what I wanted to achieve. I knew I wanted it to have the appearance of a toaster, and I knew I wanted it to have a storage element. But most of all, I wanted it to be my design, albeit inspired by another video tutorial of a toaster storage box. I wanted to then turn it into my own version. I'm no expert in papercrafting by any stretch of the imagination, but I want to get better at it. And one of the things I realized that I need to do, rather than always following a step-by-step tutorial, I need to be more adventurous and come up with my own ideas, my own designs, using the skills and techniques that I've learned over the years. And this is the beginning of that journey. And that being said, I'd like to thank you again for joining me today. I hope you'll come back again for another video tutorial. If you have any comments, any suggestions, any criticisms, please leave them in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much. Bye for now. Stay safe and crafty hugs.